Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to this special edition of the Monday Mock with me, Betty, and my co-host, Nate. How are we doing today, Nate?
I'm good. Hopefully people might spot a difference, or maybe they won't.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Who knows? We're just expressing ourselves for posterity's sake. I don't know.
We had a request last week as well, didn't we? So
Yeah.
we like to fulfil.
We did. We had a request to perform this show as our true selves. So we decided to do so. Now, just for information's sake, once again, this edition of the Monday Mock is pre-recorded. It is not live, so if we're not talking back to you in the chat, that is why, my dears. And so, with that, I have no idea what we're getting into this week. Nate has prepared the entire show. So give it to me, baby. Aha, aha.
We'll start with this one.
What am I looking at?
Do you remember the toothbrush last week?
Yeah, the Lego man.
The Lego man. Well, this is a new one. This man says, I think it says at the top, he rather try use makeup to get rid of his beard than shave. This is the new manly way to behave, Ben. What do we think of his makeup routine to remove the beard? Spooning.
You called me Ben. You just dead named me. Thank you for that.
Oh, sorry.
But what I think is, just before we came on to record this show, do you know what I did, Nate? I had a shave. I had a shave. Joe, it took 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes to have that shave. And this just looks like it's a complete and utter waste of time, but it will get the clicks.
But look, after he's done it, you can still see the beard.
You can still see the beard.
What was the point? I've got like a little bit of a stubble here, and he's still got a stubble even after spooning makeup on his face.
Nate, you've done a great job with stubble.
I thought so. I think I'm. Yeah. Who looks better? Who looks better, Spoon Man or Nate?
Nate, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Nate expressing his true self right there.
I just had producer John in my ear telling me he thinks I look strangely attractive. So there you go. I must be doing something right.
He's got to come to terms with his own feelings.
Don't trust in men, trust in God. See you at church tomorrow. All 3 services. Be there.
I don't know if you might have to maybe re-watch that again to understand it, Ben. But Betty, this is an advertisement for church.
Don't trust in men, trust in God. See you at church tomorrow. All 3 services. Be there.
What?
So this was an advertisement kind of put out to try and bring you into church. Apart from God didn't actually
stop the girl from falling.
No. So how is it a good thing? Don't trust in the man because it's not going to break your fall. But God didn't break the fall either,
no,
Betty.
God.
So how did it? Why did anyone want to turn up at church based on that brilliant advertisement on social media?
Well, Nate, you've got to understand here that people that believe in deities are troubled. I'm joking. They're not troubled. But how can you believe in an entity that you can't see? And I'm going to make an argument here that people might hate me for, but I believe there is absolutely no difference in believing in an omnipotent, all-powerful God that created the earth in 7 days and believing in lizard people. I don't believe there's a difference. They're both things you can't see. They're both things that you can't prove, and they're both things that in order to believe in, you have to trust. And for posterity, for argument's sake, I do not believe in either. But, you know, if you believe in one, what's the problem with believing the other?
Well, my view, if for anyone, if they care, I would say I'm agnostic. As I was younger, I'd have probably said I'm an atheist. But yeah, I mean, I don't care what anyone believes in. I really don't. You know, if you want to believe in an omnipotent God, I got it there in the end. If you want to believe in that, if you want to believe there's some spiritual kind of karma that exists, if you want to believe there's nothing, I don't mind what anyone wants to believe. But all I know is that particular advertisement didn't advertise anything very well at all because the poor person fell over.
And also, the lizard people did not rise up to catch the girl either. So
no, nobody did. I think that the real problem is nobody caught the girl.
Nobody.
So really.
Oh, hold on. Oh, no. Okay, I've got it. The grass caught the girl, and the grass was created by the god.
Oh, you're true. Yes. Oh, maybe that's what the teaching would have been if you went to church, Betty. Maybe Betty's got it.
Stop dead naming me, Nate.
I'm trying my best. Might have to see that video again for you to understand it. But this was supposed to be a paradise island for people to go and meditate and relax. And if you actually watch, the only thing you can do is see social influence have people taking videos of them on this supposed paradise island every single way.
Right, during the lockdowns, how many influencers got on a plane and went to Dubai? And I'm telling you, the only people there at that time were these influencers. So everywhere you looked, you would have seen somebody going.
I mean, literally on that whole video, the only thing you can see is women scantily dressed in a bikini in a so-called paradise with men being cameramen. You know, is this the sign of things to come? Is that the real paradise, or a social influencer's paradise? Maybe, Betty. Betty, you could go out there in your bikini.
I could.
And maybe Nate could photograph you.
I'll tell you what, I'll hire you. I'll pay you nothing, but I'll hire you.
We'll go out there and take photos in our paradise.
I'm not going to lie. The place does look beautiful.
It does. It is kind of ruined, though, by the influences, isn't it? It doesn't, the resort with all of them there, it doesn't have the tranquility and the peaceful experience that one would want, I think.
No, it does not. It does not.
And it is a sign of the times.
It is a sign of the times. And the thing is also, one thing you've got to understand, and this is to the viewer, what you've got to understand is what these influencers portray is not real, okay? They don't live these lives of luxury that they like to portray. I mean, if you go over to our other channel, The Real Review UK, we give a vastly honest opinion on what traveling to places is like, and we show you what really happens and what you really get. But these people often have deals with the resorts that they're with, and that's why there's so many influencers there. And they will be told what they can and cannot post, when they should post it, how much. They aren't the, just the spur of the moment, get on the plane, lap of luxury travelers that you think they are. They are well-regimented, well-paid people who are selling you a product, who are selling you a dream that they are not actually living themselves.
And they're also selling their own brand. So they're advertising the actual resort or destination, Betty, but they're also selling their own brand, which half the time isn't real anyway. They're pretending they're perfect. They're only showing the best shots of them in their bikinis, not the ones that you would sit down and maybe a bit of fat will roll over. No, those ones won't make the cut.
No,
only the ones selling their perfect health drink or protein shake or, with the perfect figure. And this is the problem.
Piss!
Or the Andrews Tate man piss. Can we put that on a video maybe next week?
We've got to do it, haven't we?
We have to put it out there next week.
We've got
There's
to do
nothing
it.
like a good mock if you haven't got Andrew Tate in it at some point. Talking about men. Well, it's a bit like Nate. Nate's got a 12-inch penis, and let's hear about this man.
I've got this ruler with us just to try and illustrate. So this essentially is how big your penis is when it's erect.
Oh yeah, obviously the thickness is a lot bigger, but yes.
Yes, and of course, we're not taking into the girth.
Which is the real issue.
So the practicalities of something like that, as much as people might go, gosh, it would be amazing to be so well endowed. Yeah. What is the reality of that for you, Matt?
I mean, the reality is you just have to consider it. It's obviously, I want to say, it's the biggest problem in the world right now. Of course it's not. But it's just something that affects you in a way that people don't think about because they only think about this stuff when it comes to adult content.
Yeah.
People, or pub jokes, for example, lads cracking jokes. I grew up in the time of the Lad Mag when that was like a very much, the bigger is better was the ethos.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've reached the point now where we're not so father-centric as a culture. There's a lot about women's pleasure and more female voices in the media to be able to sort of dispel a lot of these myths. But certainly when I was growing up, that was not the case.
And you just then mentioned women and how do girls react to it when you're dating?
It's difficult because it's not something you can really spring on people with a surprise because it just tends to scare people away generally.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly. But also you don't want to be a creep and bring it up early, but it's how do you find that balance?
How do you start that conversation?
Surprise!
It's a big topic to have. Yes, no pun intended.
It's a big topic to broach, Betty. now, I don't know if you've ever experienced, Betty, a man with a 12-inch penis. Nate is going to be a gentleman and not tell you how big his is. But it's a big problem to broach for this man.
Un problème? Oui?
Oui?
Un problème?
Un grand problème.
Un grand problème. I do feel.
Do you
sorry.
sympathise for him?
Well, I do sympathise for him. I really do. I'm not quite sure why it's made the news and it's been on this morning or something, but
I think he might hold the world record for either the world record or the British record for the biggest penis size. So as he quite right, I think he was quite offended though when he took the ruler out. Did you notice? And he was like, it's a bit thicker than that. The girth, it's far bigger. Did you notice that he was quite upset that he was comparing it to the ruler? He's supposed to be quite self-conscious about it, but he did want you to know that there was a lot more girth to be had.
I think Mr. Moderator was speaking in my ears, but I didn't hear what he said. Still can't hear him.
Maybe our producer John was trying to compare his size to the man's 12-inch. penis, who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I still can't hear him. So
yeah. Who knows? What do we think? For those of us that are joining us on Monday? Or do we feel sorry for him, or do you think he should just lose a bit of weight and maybe just join the adult industry and go make a lot of money?
I don't even think. I mean, if you've heard of the man named Ron Jeremy, I don't think losing weight is even a requirement. I mean, I know Ron ended up in prison. So just don't go down that road, Matt. Just don't go down that road. Let's move on anyway. Let's
move on.
What else have we got?
Matt, I got a question. We have 2 daughters, right? Mm-hmm. If you had to leave your daughters in the forest, would you leave them in the forest with a bear or a man?
I wouldn't leave them.
That's the answer.
Let me ask you again.
What?
You're such a great dad. If you had to leave them in the forest, would you leave them with a bear or a strange man?
Strange man.
Is this a trick question?
No, it's not a
Yes,
trick
it is.
question.
It's a trap.
Why do I have to leave them?
That is just a scenario. Would you leave them in the woods, in forest, with a bear or a strange man that you don't even know?
How old are they?
Bae, answer the question. Goodness.
He's gonna say bear.
I would leave them with a. I'm leaving them with the bear, man,
Why the bear?
because they can run away from the bear.
So I chose this, by the way, Betty, because this has been everywhere. If you haven't already seen it,
I've not been on social media all week.
Yeah. So it's been for a few weeks. It's been everywhere. Bear versus man. And the question is whether it's for a woman, whether it's for a father, whether it's for anyone. Would you leave a woman in the woods with a bear or a man?
And they've all said bear, haven't they? They've all said bear.
Yeah, and you guessed it, that it was coming. And we've got a second video to show you before we debate this properly on this one. And this one's going to show you what most of the answers have been like. So producer John will show it to us now.
The debate, but here we are. And I've seen a whole lot of comments from people who don't understand women's stories or statistics. So to be clear, the answer is unequivocally a bear, and here are the two reasons why. First, the numbers. In the United States, there are 340,000 bears and about 57 million hikers, 26 million of which are female. Since 2020, there have been exactly 7 women killed by bears and 15 non-fatal attacks on women. In the US, there are also 165 million men and 168 million women. Since 2020, there have been 8,000 fatal attacks on women by men and 1.6 million non-fatal attacks.
So he explains the reason and what most people are giving. Which kind of people are ignoring, Betty. A bear will kill you. So my answer, as a woman, by the way, if you want to leave me in the woods with a bear or a man, it will be a man, even if that man is a sociopath, because I'm still more likely to explain a sociopathic rapist than I am a grizzly bear.
Did you just misgender yourself?
Oh, sorry. Nate, yeah. I should ask Betty, really. Betty, what would you?
Well, I would just say to whoever's leaving me in the forest, oi, prick, don't leave me in the forest. Oh, come on. I want to come home. I mean, if I'm being abandoned in the forest, then the person that's abandoning me will probably want me to be left with the thing that will do me most harm because they're choosing to abandon me.
Yes. But the whole point, Ben, Betty, is that people keep forgetting how can most people choose the man? Because a bear, there hasn't been as many bear attacks, but also most people don't generally go and leave human beings to be attacked by a bear. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the chance of me outrunning a grizzly bear?
Once again, the only reason I'm being left somewhere with a bear is because the person that's leaving me there wants the bear to eat me!
Yeah, exactly. Or the best film ever, which I love, Cocaine Bear. Now, that is great. You know, you might have a chance of running.
On YouTube, we have to call it white powdered sugar bear. I'm not joking. We have to call it white powdered sugar bear.
Okay. So you can beep one word out, and if you go and watch the film that is White Powdered Sugar Bear, now that is a good story about escaping a grizzly bear.
I mean, it's not a true story. It's kind of based on a true story.
It's a great dark comedy, black comedy. It's brilliant.
And you know what? I saw it at the cinema, and I did have a good giggle. I did have a good giggle.
But who won? Again, did man versus bear win? That's maybe you should go watch it and find out.
Well, I think the cartel leader certainly didn't win, did he?
No.
He certainly didn't win. Spoiler alert. Yeah. But if you've not seen White Powdered Sugar Bear by now, then It's like two plus years old now, so I don't
Brilliant,
really
though.
care if we spoil it. To be honest, if you've not seen it,
It's not
it's
really
your
a
own
movie
fault.
you can. It's not really a movie you can spoil. The pure class of it is just in the overall ambiance of the film and its humour. So yeah, go watch it, and then maybe you'll get some clues as if to whether you want to be left in the woods with a bear or a man, and you can tell us in the comments.
I'll tell you what. First of all, this is just a personal anecdote here, but you won't find me in the woods to begin with. To be left in the woods, I'm not going
Billy
to the
Scooter
woods.
is going to struggle in some woods. Then I've got to
Exactly.
say that they're not putting this in, are they, for poor old Betty? Betty's not going in the woods, not with the bear or the man.
Give me a nice big flat piece of concrete. Run
Yeah.
around on my scooter. It's all good.
Exactly.
I'm almost tempted to go to Fort Park next week dressed like this.
Maybe I should. Should we do a video for the Hyperia? Me dressed as a man and you dressed as a woman.
Once again, the moderator is speaking and I can't hear him. So
we'll think. Let us know what you think in the comments as well. Should me and Ben do a video for our first Hyperia trip, dressed as Betty and Nate? Let us know what you think. But we've got another. Yeah.
I think I'd lose the wig.
You might do. You might have to try and put like the glasses round it.
Well, let's just move on. Have we got any more videos?
Yes.
Malaysian Airlines going missing, not funny, huh? Some jokes don't land.
Jocelyn Chia, ladies and gentlemen, is a US-based comedian who could very well be facing arrest from Interpol because of a joke. It turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that not even in Australia or America comedians are safe. Malaysia, though, is seeking Interpol's assistance over comedians' joke about the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. So old Jocelyn told a joke about the Malaysian Airlines flight that crashed a few years ago. Now, in that crash, many people lost their lives, and you know my opinion on joking about other people's misfortune. Any comedian who jokes about people's death or tragedy is not a real comedian. They're punching down and they are horrible people. I'm kidding, of course. Joke about whatever the fuck you want. If you make people laugh, then you're doing your job.
Exactly.
Yes, Isaac Butterfield, we like you very much.
No topic should be off the table for comedy. Because, and let me tell you why, and I'm going to get a little bit serious here. Because the second one interest group starts saying, well, I want protection from this joke, then the next interest group can look over and say, well, they're getting protection. I want it too. And then the slippery slope continues. Now, as a disabled woman, I am telling you that disabled jokes are some of my favorite things on the planet. I love them. I make them all of the time. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because it makes me feel normal.
Absolutely. The next bit to that video, which I didn't do, was Isaac Butterfield actually doing a same joke, very similar, about a Malaysian airline and people dying on it. Because that's the type of comedian he is. And I love all different types of comedy.
Again, the moderator is speaking,
and to me, we've got to stop. We have to stop telling people what they can and can't joke about. At the end of the day, some comedians are going to tell a joke and you're going to love it. And you know, another comedian's going to tell a joke and you're going to hate it. And that's called freedom of choice and freedom of speech.
But you're absolutely right in saying that freedom of speech and freedom of expression are some of the most important things. They are the most important things on this planet. And that's why it's the First Amendment in the United States Constitution. Right? And the Second Amendment over there exists to protect the First Amendment. So a lot of people have either forgotten or failed to understand. We live right now, Nate, in a country that does not have those speech protections. We live in a country that has laws that can get you arrested for jokes. We have comedians who live up in Scotland, for example, who have been arrested, who have been taken 2 years through court, who have been fined for making very clear and obvious jokes. People need to understand that this protection, speech rights, all of that, they are the single most important thing. Because how on earth, if you get a political class in power, how on earth are you meant to fight against that political class and outshine their ideas if they outlaw yours?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even part of what we're doing today. Some people might find us coming out today as Betty and Nate funny. Other people might find it disrespectful, might not watch us again. That's choice.
But we're not attempting to disrespect anybody. We're just having a laugh.
That's it. It's supposed to be laughed at. And that's okay, though, if you don't laugh or you do. That's the whole point. Everyone's different, and we're all going to find different things funny. But let people joke. Let people have the joke and let them decide themselves.
Well, exactly.
And that is the way it should be.
And you know what? If people dress the way we're dressing in all seriousness and they want to live their lives like that, you go right ahead. We're not going to stop you. You go and live how you feel comfortable living. We're having a joke, and I will say the joke was initially that we were just going to beat each other, but then we said to each other, well, we're far too autistic to call each other by our own names, so we came up with another name for each other.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. So
moral of the story is go joke, go and have a laugh, and don't put anything off bounds, because life is too short.
I know we're going to get comments. I know we're going to get called names, but you know what? We can take it, because we're not those things. We're not phobes. We're not ists. We're just people that like to have a laugh. It's as simple as that. And nothing is off limits when it comes to comedy.
That's it.
That's simple.
And that is what we believe.
I will go and perform a drag act at a gay bar if people want me to. I have absolutely no qualms in doing that. In all seriousness, I would enjoy it. I would have a laugh. I'd sing people's songs dressed like this because it's a bit of fun. That's simple.
It is. That's what we want to make this show about. That is the whole point of the Monday Mock. We want it to be lighthearted. We want it to be upbeat. We just want to make people smile, because the world is a pretty crazy place at the moment.
It is a crazy place.
Is the whole idea of this show. So we've got through the videos and we've got some slides now to look at, Ben. So I think we've got the first one.
If you dead name me one more time, Nate, I swear to God.
I'm trying my best. Give me some time, Betty. You know, I've known you one way for years. I'm trying to get my head round it, okay? Give me some time. Right. The new trend. Now, I suffer from a lot of headaches. I believe that Betty does as well. Yeah, particularly Betty's wife. New trend called bloodletting is becoming more popular for people with constant headaches, but not recommended due to non-proven science. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a man, and it looks like a bit like a lobotomy, but basically somebody puts a hole in their head to relieve the pressure, and blood just squirts out, and they have to just sit there for a while with blood squirting out of their head. I'm just not sure it sounds like the best treatment for me. But you know, each to their own.
Each to their own, and if people think it works, and you know, I got
do what you like.
I got somebody who told me having their inner ear conch pierced stops their headaches. There's no science behind that whatsoever. But you know, if that's what they want to believe, don't do it.
Absolutely, do not recommend it.
No, don't do it. I'm just going to call you a weirdo. It's as simple as that. Yeah, bloodletting. Ooh, it sounds like a ceremony, doesn't it? Yeah. Let the bloodletting begin.
Maybe it's one of those satanic rituals again. No, we're not recommending it. Don't do
it. You don't know what they're doing with that blood after they've let it.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely. And what have we got next, Producer John? Yeah. I thought after seeing all the blood, this is why I don't wear white T-shirts ever.
Preach,
it doesn't matter.
Baby, preach.
Every single time I wear a white shirt, it's like something, I don't know. We said maybe me and Betty don't believe in some omnipotent power. But why is it when you wear a white shirt, everything you eat spills down it? What is this strange phenomenon?
I have no answer for you. Maybe
but it's true.
Maybe it is omnipotence. Maybe it is.
What is it? The power of the white T-shirt?
Well, the thing is, I don't wear white T-shirts because it makes me look even fatter than I already am. So I just don't wear them. I like to wear, I like to wear classy clothes.
Betty's very, conscious about her image and her body weight, aren't you?
Am I fuck? What else we got anyway?
Well, we do like to mock the Tates, but this one, first of all, is he's Myron Gaines. This is the guy from Fresh and Fit, who we've liked to mock before. And this is from the good old, as I thought we were dressing as men and women, we could have a nice theme about gender equality, the red pill movement, all of that malarkey. And here we go. So he says, anytime a girl claims she knows a celebrity, she actually doesn't. She may have met them at a random social event or even date and think she gives these men a fuck or even remember her. Most women's thought process is that they are the main character and they have shown a skewed perception of reality and have no clue what a real networking relationship is like. Pussy isn't enough to actually maintain long-term networking connections, you dumb bimbo. No, these guys just wanted to have sex with you and make you feel important, you idiot. And of course, who had to agree with him? Mr. Tate himself. He said, he's right. I don't know any of those hoes.
Well, I tell you what, those hoes, Mr. Tate, are going to be the reason you end up in prison.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's face it. I'm nailing my colours to the mast. The Tates are not walking away from this. And if somehow they walk away from DCOT, as they call themselves, and the criminal prosecution, the UK civil case will get them. They're not walking away from this. And Mr. Tate here says women have no interest in the GameStop saga because women don't want to F the system. They just want Instagram likes. So selfish, so shallow, so boring, and they wonder why I won't fuck them no matter how they beg. Nobody's ever begged you, Andrew. Come on, let's face it. Nobody has ever begged you.
I just use examples though of this. I mean, he's on one hand saying it's women out there, begging for Instagram likes. So how are these two doing any different? They're putting rubbish out here on this platform. What, for likes, for revenue? They're doing absolutely no different. And this is constant idea being pushed, Ben, that I just find hilarious. Like, man versus women, and women are one way and men are another, because it's not true. We don't fit into these ideas of this man works one way, women works another. At the end of the day, you're an idiot if you're an idiot, and you're a nice person if you're a nice person. What gender you are or what sex you are, whatever you want to say, is irrelevant. The way these people.
Did you ever see them Bored Ape NFTs? Did you ever see them? Right? Because I swear they were based on Andrew Tate. I swear to God, they were based on Andrew Tate. Because let's face it, in the grand scheme of things and looking at it from the perspective of a woman, Andrew Tate is not attractive.
Oh, he's not. No, I mean Tristan Tate is an attractive man, but Andrew Tate isn't at all. You could see Tristan and would walk into a club and have no problem pulling, but Andrew is just not naturally good looking. And it's all the replies to those tweets that I put. You should see the replies to what people think, and it's just becoming like this divisive. Like we said in the 90s, people were pretty chill about men and women, and there's this whole kind of red pill movement now where it's like men have to act a certain way, and women have to be a stay-at-home trad white, and it's just, we don't need to push these ideas. I just find them all pretty hilarious, as I'm dressed here as Nate and you're as Betty.
Well, yeah, I find it pretty hilarious as well. I mean, let's face it, I would be quite happy if we were able to have a one-parent income and be able to run a house, and the other parent was able to stay at home with the children. Doesn't matter which parent gains that income, but I wish we were able to do that, but we're not now. And this whole trad shit is bollocks. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to
Is it for me? It's the judgment. Though I've seen it as well this week. I didn't even put theirs up, but I've seen Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. They're all pushing this idea. There's only one way to live.
Yeah, but they're millionaires.
Yeah, and then exactly. But they don't see it that way. You know, there's only one way to live. If you're a woman and you sleep with more than one man, then you've already messed yourself up. You have to get married. You have to get married a virgin. You have to stay at home with the children. And if you don't do all of these things, then you're not doing God's work. And people like Andrew Tate are then pushing it in this weird way that he can sleep with as many women as he wants, but women can't. And we're going back years and years and years. We moved forward so far, and suddenly all these people are taking us back again. And the next slide we've got, she's another one that's pushing
Hannah Pearl Davis.
Yeah, she is another one just pushing this nonsense. If men are in debt, they're in debt because they owe child support. She is antagonistic, isn't she? She wants a reaction. It's such a ridiculous tweet, isn't it?
Do you know what? I don't understand Pearl's. I don't understand how anybody listens to Pearl, because she gives relationship advice. She's not in a relationship. She gives marriage advice. She's not married to anybody.
She's young. She gives elderly people advice. And I mean, anybody older than her, and she's only like 25. What wisdom has she got?
Well,
none.
She's got no wisdom at all. But unfortunately, this message, this sort of red pill movement, even MGTOW. Do you know what MGTOW means? It means men go their own way, right? So these sort of movements are taking hold. They are gaining following. They are gaining followers. We can sit here and mock Pearl. We can sit here and mock Tate. But unfortunately,
they've got so many followers.
There are people that listen to what they say, take it in, and drink the Kool-Aid. Then these people are not saying these things to help you. People are saying these things because they know it will elicit a response, elicit a reaction, and gain them notoriety. Okay,
it's deliberate sensationalism.
Oh, Betty, you and Nate are doing exactly the same right now.
Yeah, well, but actually, not being funny, we're doing it because we actually wanted to have a laugh, right? If we really wanted to, I could go on my Twitter account and I could post the most controversial statements, much like Pearl. You know, we've done this for a laugh today. I could do stuff just as controversial as they were if I wanted to only make money. That what she's written, this men are only in debt because they owe child support, she knows is completely and utterly inaccurate. She knows the statement's inaccurate, but she's trying to get people angry. She's trying to, again, be derogatory, slag off women. Oh, it's all those single women again, sleeping with men, not having any fathers. That's all she's trying to do. She's got a reputation, if you like, of kind of hating on women, backing men.
I would love to interview Hannah Pearl Davis, and I say that, I say that because
Betty and Nate will.
Well, I would love to get in her head. I would love to understand where she's coming from and why she says and does the things she does. And if it really is all just for clicks and giggles. Because
I think it is. I can't believe she's that stupid.
Well,
I can't.
Who knows? But the problem is the things she say resonate with people and people are listening to her, and she's got like, what, 1 million YouTube subscribers or something like that. People listen. And I would like to know how this all came about. I'd like to know, because she just came out of nowhere and just started saying this stuff. And is it to appeal to the single lonely man who, feels like they've been cast out from society, or is it using those people in order to make money?
I think she's using them. I think it's a kind of business decision. I think she saw the red pill movement. I think she thought, I can pick up on this as a woman. I think they call them simps, do they? I don't know. But I'm not very au fait with all these red pill terms.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're my simp, Nate, and you know it.
Oh, okay. Is that what I am? See, I'm not even sure. Oh, incellers. Is that another one, or is it the incels that she's...
Incels.
What's the difference between a simp and an incel? Can you tell me, Betty?
Okay, I can tell you. So a simp is somebody who does anything and everything for the person they're simping on because they hope that they might notice them. An incel, also known as involuntary involuntary celibate. That's what incel means. Is a man that can't get a woman to sleep with him, no matter how hard he tries.
Right. So I guess she's trying to relate to both, because the simp is feeling down on themselves because he's apparently doing what the woman wants and not being his true manly red pill self. The incel likes to hear he hasn't got a woman, so he wants to hear all the, yes, I could have one if I wanted to. It's all the women's fault that I sit at home on my computer and don't actually have sex with women. And Hannah's appealing to them because she's saying exactly what they want to hear to get their bruised ego back up.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And speaking of egos, former Coronation Street actor Matthew Marston says, "Dear women, men do not look down on women that stay at home with the kids. You do. Go feminism." Now, actually, before you go into some kind of tirade there, Nate, I understand where he's coming from, because what we would call fourth wave feminists, which are the current loud voices in the so-called feminist movement, do look down on women that stay home with the kids. They do. They and I don't understand it, because it's very self-destructive.
I think for me, whilst there's a part of me that agrees with what Matthew's saying, but it's such an extreme view, all I'm going to say is the average woman out there doesn't look down upon that. We are talking about the extreme feminists.
Yeah, we're talking about
most women.
feminists.
Yeah. Most women don't feel like that. Most men don't feel like that. And it really bothers me that people like him put us all, women, in this category that actually believe that. They don't. Real feminism is about freedom of choice, right? If you want to be a stay-at-home mum, be a stay-at-home mum. If you want to go to work, go to work. That's it. Now, as someone who was a stay-at-home mum, I would like to sit down and say, and this is not a popular view, I hated it. I love my kids more than anything, but as an autistic person who likes to be challenged academically and emotionally, I found the day-to-day drudge of being a stay-at-home mum mentally draining, exhausting. I got absolutely nothing from it. And I'm not allowed to say that, because in the same way, I'm looked down upon for saying that. So for me, the main thing to take out of it is stop putting everybody in this category, whether it's Tate putting you in a category, whether it's Marsden putting you in a category. Women do what you like. Men do what you like. Doesn't matter about feminism, doesn't matter about your red pill. Be who you are as an individual. Make your choices as an individual. Freedom of choice, freedom of speech. Stop putting yourself into these polarized viewpoints. Just go and be out there and do what you want to do, and stop being part of this ridiculous system that are making it worse. Oh, breathe, Nate.
Breathe and breathe. And there's nothing I can add to that except for this. If you have enjoyed this edition of the Monday Mock, then please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and unfortunately next week Ben and Natalie will return. I say unfortunately because we do look fabulous.
We did quite like it. I quite enjoyed it.
We do look fabulous. But Ben and Natalie will return with another edition of the Monday Mock next week. If you, as I say, if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, if you want to support us further, you can do so by going to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Descent, patreon.com/Chasing Descent, or right here on YouTube. You can join us by clicking the join button. Also, subscribe to the other channels, The Real Review UK, where we do positive, fun, movies, travel, all of that, and The Outer Place, where John and Ed go down the rabbit hole on a weekly basis. So,
I just wanted to add as well, we had a suggestion that me and Ben should dress up, and we've done that for you. Betty and Nate were here, so if you've got any other suggestions, if you've got any other tweets, any other footage from social media,
somebody asked me to wear the Princess Leia bikini, I'll do it.
Yeah, if you've got any other ideas, any other videos, we'd love to hear from you. Send us your way. You are part of our show as well. We want to hear your thoughts. Back to you, Betty.
Well, for me, I've got a very deep voice right now. too deep for a lady, of course. but no, honestly, thank you. We enjoy this. We have a great laugh. We hope you have a great laugh as well. So we'll see you next week. It's been great for you.